All right, welcome to, I think we're going to call this 13 Not Radio. This is basically where I'm going to come on here and talk about certain topics, and, it's a little different than reviews. And it's being Friday the 13th. I think we're just going to rank the Friday 13th movies. What do y'all say? I'm a big Friday 13th fan. I got all the collectibles. Here's a mask that I have that is signed by all the Jasons. I'm missing a few, like the kid Jasons and stuff, but I got all these signatures in person, so they are legit. And what we're gonna do today is rank the Friday 13th movies. Now, may not be the same ranking as you, but it's mine. This is why I would rank them. We'll start off at number 12, and that, of course, is gonna be Jason Goes to Hell. I was very excited when this movie come out. I remember, and it's so fucking disappointing. And it's one of them films where you just miss Jason. I thought the whole heart thing was stupid. The first of the film was the best part of the film. Even the look of Jason, I couldn't stand his makeup or however they did the fucking head with all the lumps on it and stuff. That was even terrible. And the whole eating the heart thing and passing from body to body, the little demon. I think the ending was the coolest part about the movie. It was basically Freddy's hand coming up and grabbing Jason's mask, and I think you actually seen the Necronomicon from Evil Dead in the film as well. But overall, Kane Hodder played Jason in this. I don't remember anybody else's real names, I don't think. Now, I've heard stories of Duke, the guy that played Duke, I think. I heard stories about them doing some kind of spin-off about him, but I don't know if that ever went through. They're actually having some bad problems with the rights issues to Friday 13th, so they may not have a Friday 13th for a while. Instead, we get all these fan-made films, which I'm not really excited about. Haven't watched any of them, by the way. But we'll move on to number 11. Number 11, we're going to go with Jason X. Now, just because I'm ranking them towards the bottom does not mean I don't like these films. I actually like Jason X. Jason Goes to Space. We got to have a space movie. I'm waiting for Michael Myers to go there. This movie, was Kane Hodder film, playing Jason. But I did enjoy, the ridiculousness of the film. It's pretty ridiculous, but I did enjoy the kills in the film. It had some classic kills in the film, especially the one where he puts the bitch's face in the goddamn nitrous or whatever the fuck it is in the sink, and it freezes, and then he smashes her goddamn head over the fucking counter. That was classic. And then you had the twins in the sleeping bag scene, which was that was kind of funny, where he kept bashing them against the tree and they wouldn't fucking die. But overall, and it just got kind of stupid when it was stupid anyway, but when you got Mega Jason, went a little too far for me. It's still fun to watch, though. I had fun watching it at the theater. I still watch it to this day. I think it's a fun movie. I know some people hate it, but I kind of like it. Moving on to number 10, we're gonna go with Friday the 13th, Part 7. I like Friday the 13th Part 7. It ranks this low because I couldn't get over the fucking girl with the psychic powers. I don't know why. And, Jason, he's kind of fucking supernatural himself anyway, so I don't know why I have a problem with her having psychic powers like she's in the fucking X-Men or something. But I do, and it's still a good movie, though. It had some really cool shit happen in that movie. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, this is the first time. It's bad because all these are Kane Hodder Jasons. Even though I love the way he plays Jason, it's just the movies were not my favorites. The sleeping bag scene is one of my favorite kills of all time. So when you got in this one, it does have the original sleeping bag kill, which I think is Kane Hodder's favorite kill. I've actually heard him say, I believe. That was probably my favorite part of the film, was that kill right there. Now, I still love this. I still love it, though, even though I've got it ranked at 10. I know a lot of people's probably got it ranked a little higher. It's just I couldn't get over the supernatural aspect of the girl having those powers where she could fuck with Jason and stuff. And I think it's the first, like, I don't know if it's the first zombie Jason, but you get the first look at pretty much. I don't know, part 6 it does a little bit. But number 9, we're gonna go with Jason Takes Manhattan. Now I know a lot of people got this one lower and probably 7 above 8. 8 just has a special place for me because it was one of the first times I remember ever going to the movie theater. At 9 years old, I believe. Yeah, 9 years old. I was 9 years old when I seen Jason Takes Manhattan, and I was in Florida at the time on vacation. We saw it and Batman, Tim Burton's Batman, back-to-back nights in Florida. So that was a great time as far as those two movies being on the theater at the same time. But Jason Takes Manhattan, and we did pay we had an homage to it in a film Chicken's Blood we made, where he lifts the mask up. I love that scene where they're in New York, and Jason walks by him and kicks the radio, and they threaten to fight him or whatever, and he turns around and lifts the mask up, and they run off. The ending of it was bad though, where he just turns back into the child Jason, which was fucking weird. I don't know why they did that. I mean, the movie was weird anyway, going to New York. But, excuse me, I was eating Taco Bell earlier. That Baja Blast. But overall, I did like the movie better than New Blood. I don't know. And I think that may have a reason for it, is because it was one of the first times I ever been to the movie theater to see a movie. I probably did before that, but I just don't remember it. But what was that? Number 9. And we're gonna go number 8 now. Number 8. This one, I think a lot of people got it lower, but I feel like it's very underrated and it's got more watchability than most of them. Is the fucking remake. That's right. Was it 2009? It's been that long since that movie's come out. It don't feel like that long ago. Derek Mears plays Jason in that one, and I gotta say, man, I thought it was pretty good. There was a few things I didn't like about it, because especially when you saw the previews, and wow, the opening scene before the credits, it was very long. It was one of the longer opening scenes before the opening credits I've ever seen. But it was pretty awesome. Like, you got the sack Jason. My favorite part was when he runs after her with the machete. The problem I had with it was I was thinking they were going to show it. And they did just like in the previews. They cut it before he's smashes her with a machete, but he's coming so fast. It's the first time I ever seen Jason move like that, and it was fucking wicked as fuck. Now, the problem I had with it is he didn't kill her. So, had this whole dramatic scene, and he did not kill her, and I was like, what the fuck? He, like, kidnapped her, and I was like, that's not like Jason. I mean, I wouldn't think, but I guess the girl reminded him of his mother. Had some great kills in that film. Lots of which with Jason movies you get lots of boobs. So, I mean, they had the brother that went looking for her in the film. Overall, it was just a really fucking good film to me, and I have it ranked a lot higher than a lot of other people. I feel like it's a very underrated film. Moving to number 7. Is that 7? I keep losing track here. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. Okay. I had a tough time with this one, ranking them between this one and another one. But I'm going Friday the 13th Part 2 at number 7. I hated doing that. I really hated doing that because it's the first time you see Jason. I mean, okay, not even really the first time, but it's the first time he takes his place as really the killer in Friday the 13th after the mom. He's wearing the sack head. He's wearing the overalls. I thought it was a very cool look. And it's just, and I like Part 2 that they went and killed, what was her name, Adrienne King's character, the one that killed the mom in Part 1. I love that. And then you go back he goes back to the campgrounds, I guess, and then wow, what's that girl's name in part 2? Amy Steele. I think Amy Steele. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Amy Steele. She was in part 2, and she ends up being the final girl in it. The final scene was pretty cool. I like the campfire scene in that one where they do the whole flashback thing where they're sitting around the campfire talking about Jason and his mom and stuff. And I think that film takes place, what is it, 5 years, I think, after the first one. Is that right? 5 years after the mom dies. And I'm looking it up. I'm sorry. But I'm pretty sure. Yeah, 5 years. 5 years after the mom's rampage. After Jason died. Or, after Jason died and she goes around killing every fucking body. So now we get to this one I have ranked at, 6? And this one I had flip-flopped earlier with part 2. But I'm going with Friday the 13th part 5. Part 5. And it's one of the ones that I just remember a lot growing up. I love the kills, and especially the scene where the kids are going off from the orphanage. And this is the fake Jason. But it's one of my favorite. It's probably my favorite Jason mask. Being with the blue triangles or whatever you want to call them on the mask. Even though it's the fake Jason, there was some really cool kills in that film. And especially two of them was like with the girl and the guy goes off to have sex in the woods or whatever on the other people's property, and they get killed with the hedge clippers in the eyeballs, and he fucking mashes them together as the girl, and then the belt going around the tree and smashing the dude's eyes. I really have fun with this film, and it's got the dude from fucking Return of the Living Dead. I forgot dude's name, the black dude. He's fucking awesome in this. Reggie the Reckless's older brother. When Reggie the Reckless goes and sees him, and then he goes back to the orphanage, and he goes out there to the outhouse, and then they play they start singing that fucking song that I can't get out of my fucking head every time I watch it. That ooh baby, ooh baby, ooh baby, ooh baby. I can't sing for shit, but I love that shit will be stuck in your fucking head after watching that shit. And he's the guy from Return of the Living Dead. I don't remember from any fucking thing else, but that film, and this one. But part 5 is definitely pretty cool. Ends up being that, I guess at the first of the film, it's the ambulance driver that turns into Jason because his son was at that orphanage, and he's ends up coming up there because one of the people at the orphanage had killed his son. So he takes on the Jason persona and proceeds to murder everybody at the orphanage. Really cool. I love that film. And now that I've talked about it even more, it just, solidifies it at the number 6 for me. Number 5. A lot of people have this way lower than I do. And I'm trying to get through this. Number 5, to me, is Freddy vs. Jason. Freddy vs. Jason, when it came out, I had watched Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th my whole life. And you had part 9 came out, and he teased you with the glove and pulling Jason's mask to hell or whatever. So when Freddy vs. Jason was announced, and I could not wait to get to the theater. I still have my movie ticket to this day. Freddy vs. Jason was like the culmination of my being, if you want to put it that way. The movie itself, the storyline, I thought was good. I liked it. I liked all the actors and actresses in the film. I can't remember all of them's names, but the main actress in Freddy vs. Jason, I thought was really good, and you don't see her in nothing else. Now, I think, what's the bitch's name from American Mary. She was in, was that werewolf movie? She was in Catherine Elizabeth. Is that right? And she's in this. Her scene was pretty good when she's banging her boyfriend. And I forgot how does she get it? I think she gets it in the cornfield party, the rave. That was a cool scene. I think she's the one that hides in the locker, if I'm not mistaken, after her boyfriend gets killed, and she goes to the rave and gets fucked up. She likes to party. That's the one where they said let you freak flag fly. I can't even talk tonight. But very, I enjoyed the fuck out of Freddy versus Jason. My nephew, he wore it out though growing up. Freddy versus Jason every day. I mean, he grew up on Friday 13th like we did. I remember him when he was just little. He'd come over to my room, and he'd always want to look at the Jason toys, or he'd want to watch Freddy versus Jason. So he kind of wore it out for us a little bit, but especially with my brother. Now me, I still watch it to this day. I love that film. I can put in Freddy versus Jason anytime, anywhere, and I will be happy as fuck. The fight scene was classic as hell when they pulled Jason out of the dream, or they pulled Freddy out of the dream, and Jason is standing there looking at him, and you see that Freddy's face just like, oh shit, and it was just on from there. And I was happy with the ending. I thought the ending it ended the best way it could. I feel like Jason got the better of him though, even though Freddy, survives. And Robert Englund, by the way, is one of the coolest motherfuckers ever. I've never really met him, but the shit he does on his website, y'all need to go over there and check that shit out, man. He'll draw you a doodle of Freddy for a certain amount of money, write anything you want on it, personalize it. Very cool stuff on his website. I think it's robertenglund.com. You need to go check that out. We're going to move on to number 4. Number 4, I got Friday the 13th Part 1. I would love to have this movie higher, but facts are I like Jason better than I do his mom. His mom's cool though. But being as it is the first one, and it's probably one of the first horror movies I ever watched in my life, but and I think it's the one where you get to introduce to Ralph too. You're doomed. You're all doomed. I think that's it. It's been a while since I watched this. So. But yeah, Freddy vs. Jason Part 1, it just introduces you to the franchise. I got to have that in my top 4. So number 3. We're gonna go number 3. I gotta have Friday 13 Part 6. I mean, a lot of people have this as their number 1. I have it as my number 3. I mean, it is what it is. CJ Graham playing Jason. CJ Graham, he's a very cool guy. I've met him. I actually have a picture of him and Kane Hodder both choking me, and my eyes are rolling back in my head. And that was real, because them motherfuckers was really choking me, because when I asked them to do it, they was like, "You sure?" I was like, "Yeah." and them motherfuckers was squeezing hard. Whoever was taking the pic, I don't even remember who it was. They had a hard time getting the pic. It was like trying to hurry up because I was fucking choking. But it was good times right there. But Part 6, man, had CJ Graham in it, and it was like when they brought him back from the dead, and Tommy puts the rod in him, and you had the whole Frankenstein thing, and the lightning hit it and brought Jason back, and he opened his eyes and fucking Tom. And the one thing, I love the paintball scene. I love the scene where he wakes up out of the grave. I love the part where he's standing there in the middle of the road, and the people act like they're gonna run over him, and then he fucking stands there, and then he fucking stabs the tire or some shit. I can't remember all of it, but whatever. The ending of it I had a little bit of a problem with, because I was like, really, Jason couldn't get out of that? Just basically, they put him out there in a boat, and then put a chain around his neck, and then he put a rock to him, and then he floats to the bottom. I was like, man, he couldn't get out of that at all. It's kind of weak ending, I thought. But it set it up nice for Part 7 with the psychic girl bringing him back from the dead again. Now, number 2. Some people have this as their number 1. I got it as my number 2. Number 2 is The Final Chapter. This is probably it's close as it can get to me for number 1, though. Corey Feldman's in it. Before that was when he was actually a decent actor when he was a kid. Now, I don't know what happened. There's a lot of rumors. I don't know if any of it's true. That might have had something to do with it, but he says it's true, so I mean you gotta believe him. With Corey Feldman, I thought this one was a very cool one because I think this one had the twins in it, didn't it? Ted White plays Jason in this one, and I'm trying to think. This one it's been a little while, so I need to brush up on my Friday 13th movies. I just done this off my dome here. I just got them listed, and that's it. I didn't have nothing to say, really. But the ending was crazy as fuck with Corey Feldman hitting him with the machete all them times. But I think the biggest dead fuck, I remember them two motherfuckers. Them two were funny as fuck. Yeah, because those were the two that tried to get with the twins. You had the dead fuck guy. The dude that always tried to get into his computer and called his friend a dead fuck. You're a dead fuck. Overall, I can't remember how many years, let's see, from part 3 to that one. But the iconic poster of the fucking Jason mask with the fucking knife through it and blood, that right there was a classic and one of my favorite poster arts of all time. Now, I like the part at the first of it when they do the whole hospital scene after he leaves part 1 and he goes to the hospital and then he wakes up in the hospital. Those whole scenes are cool. And then, of course, he goes back to... And this is your introduction to Tommy Jarvis, too, which I don't think ever gets killed in the Jason movies. We need to bring him back so we can kill him at some point. But... basically, he goes back to the campground after that, which I guess is the night after, don't it? Yeah. Now that I'm thinking about it, because you get killed, I can't believe motherfuckers going back up there that quick. But that was number 2. Number 1 is Friday 13 Part 3. Part 3 is my favorite. Very few people seem like they like Part 3 as their favorite. My favorite was Part 3. It was the introduction to the hockey mask. It was this mask right here. That's why I got this one. The guy from Horror's Hallowed Grounds made this mask for me, by the way. I think he's actually a manager for a lot of horror icons. But in this one, Richard Brooker plays Jason. And a lot of people don't like Shelley. Shelley's the person. If it wasn't for Shelley, you wouldn't have Jason's mask. The dude with the fro, he was trying to scare everybody, and they didn't think it was funny. It is uncomfortable sense of humor. But if it wasn't for Shelley, we wouldn't have no hockey mask because he had to bring the mask and Jason had to steal the mask from him. So I like Shelley. Shelley, the scene where they fight the bikers in the little yellow bug, the Ted Bundy bug or whatever, and that was a classic scene for me. But also, I have a painting up on my wall from Simon Pritchard. My brother got me for my birthday from over. But the scene where the dude's walking on his hands and Jason comes over with the axe or a machete and splits him in two, that was awesome. But introducing it to the mask, and even I think this one ended better than a lot of them. I think was it that he was hanging. And no, he got out of that, didn't he? She hit him with the axe over the head. I was trying to think if anything else jumped out at me with that, but I got a cool story. We'll just end it with that. As far as number 3 is my favorite. All right, Jason all-time film. Y'all may have it different. I like that one the best. It was probably my most watched horror film as growing up as well, because we had it taped off. We had it taped off on a blank VHS tape. I think my aunt taped it off for us, so I watched it a lot because we didn't have that many movies back then. Now, I got a cool story, and I'm not trying to frown on Richard Brooker's legacy. God rest. That was a terrible thing when he had died. I think he's the first Jason to ever like pass. But I remember meeting him, and at one of the Comic Cons, and we had this a friend of mine's little 10-year-old girl was up there, and she wanted to get a picture with Jason, and Jason, which was Richard Brooker at the time. And Richard Brooker, she runs up to him. She didn't want his autograph. She didn't want nothing. She just wanted a picture. And I thought that, I was like, oh, cool. Yeah, he'll probably do that. So she goes up to him, 10-year-old girl. And I understand not wanting to do stuff for free if you're charging for it. But I thought it was a little ridiculous that he told the little 10-year-old girl, I have to, it's $20. And I understand you can't just start giving stuff out. I can't believe they was charging $20 for a picture anyway, but whatever. So she didn't get her picture with Jason. Later on that night, this girl was up there, a friend of mine, and she went up to Richard Brooker. She's wearing a little dress, whatever, looking cute. And she goes up to Richard Brooker and starts talking to him. And she doesn't even ask for an autograph. I'm going to put it that way. And he gives her a signed autograph 8x10 picture. And I'm sitting there like, you motherfucker. You turned down a little girl, 10 years old, all she wanted a picture on her camera phone. But then this girl comes up to you, and she just wanted to talk to you, and you turn around and just give her an 8x10 picture. Sign. I wanted to point out that he tried to get her up to the room later as well. He gave her his room number and tried to get her to come up there. And of course she denied. She didn't go. But we had seen Richard Brooker later that night, so everything was cool. I had a drink with him at the bar. He was actually a really cool dude, and I seen him a couple of years after that, and this was a few months before he passed. I had seen him at another Comic-Con, and I went up to him, and I was like, the girl that he tried to get up to the room, I was gonna fuck with her. So I went up to him, I was like, hey, can I get a picture of you right here? And I want to send it to this girl. She's a real big fan. And he was like, sure. So he took the picture. I don't know if she still got it. I wish I still had that picture, but I don't know what happened to it. But he took the picture. I sent it to her, and she called me an ass, I believe. But funny story though. Anyway, that happens. But yeah, that's the list. That's my story, and that's all I got for you today. I appreciate y'all hanging with me. Y'all come back and hang again sometime.